Hey, what's up, guys? As always, welcome back to the channel. And way before I get ready to start things off, you guys know I got to show my gratitude to everyone who's brand new and to everyone who's been around. So in tonight's video, what I want to talk about is when we practice things like semen retention, right? It's a semen retention video, guys. But the point I want to make is that when we practice things like semen retention, the reason why I'm that type of guy who makes all my videos sorely based on the fact that you gotta stop making videos, especially if you're a guy who's trying to make videos on YouTube. Being a content creator, you don't want to be too repetitive with the same thing unless even you know that either whatever it is that you're talking about is going to actually have true value to it, or if it's just something that you're just saying just to get some kind of attention, clout, what they call it nowadays, and really just to hear yourself talk, right? And not saying that to offend anybody, I'm just saying I'm not the person who likes to be repetitive, especially when it comes to talking about something and making videos on it, stuff like that, right? So that's all I'm saying. But you have to look at the fact that there's a spiritual aspect to retention as well, right? And for me, I've always been into Tibetan culture, right, guys? And listen to this, because this is pretty interesting, man. Over there in Tibet, they practice, what we call over here semen retention, right? But in their version, they call it brahmacharya, which, I actually find much more respectable, much more of an appropriate way to use the term, but that's just me. So ignore what I'm saying if you're, not the same, right? But it's crazy because, they connect everything with, with what it means to them and why they practice it, right? They don't practice brahmacharya, aka semen retention, over here in the US, or at least if you live over here or wherever else in part of the world where they call it semen retention, right? But they don't look at things like, okay, while we're practicing brahmacharya, aka semen retention, let's focus on women, right? Let's focus on attention. Let's focus on seeing how much facial hair we can grow if we got the genetics for it. Let's focus on, being magnetic. Let's focus on making YouTube videos mainly based on the fact that, all right, let's talk about semen retention, woman attraction, being magnetic, just talking about the same things and making videos on the same things, right? They're focused on the spiritual side of retention. To them, the spiritual side of brahmacharya, how it heals their body, right? How it's connected to the universe, literally, right? A woman's womb is the portal for souls to enter into this reality. Shout out and much love to the elder, Bro Sanchez, because that's who I got it from. So give credit where credit is due, right? But anyways, we as men, guys, our seed, what we call it, that basically is the divine masculine, that thing that makes us men, right? And I'm not trying to sound too crazy with all of this, because I'm not some kind of guru, but I know enough about what semen retention can do for you, but not just in the physical, guys, like in the mental, in the spiritual, everything like that, right? And just the fact that we hold almost just as much power as a woman in terms of the type of creative energy that we have compared to what they have, right? Because women are, creative in however they're creative in it, right? And basically in their own way. And us as men, what we have is our seed, guys. Why do you think it's so vital and really so extremely important of a thing to understand, like really get through your mind, through your head, right? That our seed is the driving force. That's what allows us to get up, wake up in the morning, tackle our day, get things done, right? Be able to be out in the heat and work, be creative, right? Be more into our mental, logical side, you know, how people call it and all that, right? And tap into the creative drive that we have as men, which is why we have such great philosophers, right? That were mainly men, but make no mistake, there were women philosophers, women workers, and all that, right? But that's another story. I'm not going to get too much into that right now because I'm not too familiar with all that type of stuff, right? So I'm not even going to go there. But why do you think we have such great male philosophers, such great male warriors, right? From ancient times and all that type of cool stuff. Why do you think we have such magnificent structures and stuff like what we do today, guys, right? And I'm not talking about the modern, you know, stuff like what you see, like the concrete jungle, right? Not like New York or California or things like that, but just these ancient civilizations, right? These old ancient temples, stuff like that, right, man? And 10 out of 10 times, if we're all really going to debate and have a conversation about it, it was men that built these things, right? And I'm sure we all know that at this point, right? It was men that went out there and created what we see in the world today, right? The technologies that we have today, right? But I'm not going to give all that success to just, you know, to my male, you know, to all the males out there. I'm going to give some of that success and credit to the women, man, because there were women who were out there doing just as much of their own thing as a man was, right? So don't get that mistaken, guys. I'm not misogynist over here on my channel, right? I love women. I appreciate women, and I really love women, okay? And I'm going to leave it at that. So I give them credit for a lot of things back in the old days too, because women were very much involved just as much as a man was in almost anything. But when it comes to creative, building things, like being out, being muscular, of course, that's more of a guy thing, obviously, right? But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, guys, and long story short, which hasn't been short, it's been about 7 minutes, so I'm sorry about that, y'all, is that the seed of a man is important, right? Not only does it provide us with the creative energy and the drive and the ambition and that burning passion and desire to want to get up and just go get stuff done, right? Get things done like how a man would, how you'd expect a man would, right? Build great things and stuff like that, but also to bring in, right, a mini scaled version of him and his, the other half of him, right? His female counterpart. And then together they can bring in a mini scaled version of their DNA. Here, let me stop. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. I'm trying to sound all scientific and stuff. But anyways, I'm sure you guys see what I mean, right? The seed of a man is important. Not only does it bring life into this reality, but it's what allows us as men to express our creativity, build different structures and buildings, and create different kinds of technology. And some, not all, as good as others, right? But you guys would be shocked at how many men, even though they're familiar with retention, they still don't understand that there's a spiritual aspect to it as well, right? Not just the physical, not just attracting women and explaining to people how you're magnetic and people are drawn to you, and then attracting more women and female attraction stories and the same old stuff, right? There's a spiritual aspect to it, guys, and that's what makes it just as vital and informative of a thing that men should come to a realization of, right? Not even just men, women too as well, but for women it's a little bit different, but basically it all goes hand in hand. It's kind of, you might as well say the same thing, right? So with that being said, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's video. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm about to have a late workout gym sesh with one of my friends. I'm just waiting on him, so I just wanted to make a video in the meantime to keep you guys occupied with something. Right? But anyways, peace and much love, guys. I hope the message I left within this video resonates as any other video that I will ever make in my life or my entire YouTube career, for however long that might be. And yeah, catch you guys tomorrow. Peace and much love, everyone. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.